On April 16th, Cloudflare released a public beta pseudo email capability that may change the way I use email for custom domains I own. But is it really an email game changer or vaporware or something locked behind a paywall? I'll talk about that in this video while covering an automated way to set up this new functionality with DockFlare. DockFlare is a self-hosted ingress and access control plane for Cloudflare tunnels. It watches your Docker containers and turns simple labels into Cloudflare tunnel routes, DNS records, and zero trust access policies. And as of version 3.1, it also ships a brand new email suite that uses Cloudflare's email routing and workers as the transport layer while keeping your mailbox data local. I'm your host, Evan. Let's look at Cloudflare's new email suite deployed with DockFlare. Before we get to the email piece, let's talk about what DockFlare was originally built to do. If you've used Traffic, you already understand the model. With Traffic, you put a few labels on a container, a host rule, an entry point, a service port, and Traffic picks them up and routes traffic on your local server. The container becomes reachable. You don't write any config file by hand, you don't restart or reverse proxy, the labels do all the work. DockFlare is essentially the same idea, but instead of routing traffic on your server, it pushes routes into a Cloudflare tunnel. On the left here, you see a traffic label set: enable, host rule, entry point, and service port. On the right is the DockFlare equivalent: enable, hostname, service URL, and an optional access group. It's a different network model. Traffic routes locally and you need port 80 and 443 open on your router. But DockFlare wires everything through a Cloudflare tunnel and your router stays closed. That's the original DockFlare intent. You run a container, put some labels on it, and then you've got a public hostname behind Cloudflare access with no signing into the Cloudflare dashboard or clicking around to set that up. Now in version 3.1, the project added something they're calling Sovereign Email Suite. The benefit is you get a real you@yourdomain.com mailbox, completely self-hosted for the data without running a mail server. Let me show you how it works. The top half is everything Cloudflare manages. The bottom half is what runs on your TrueNAS box. For inbound mail, which are the green arrows, Cloudflare's email routing service receives mail at your domain's MX record. The inbound worker drops the message into an R2 bucket. R2 is just a transit buffer. The message doesn't actually sit there long. The worker pings DockFlare's mail manager on your server, which then pulls the message out of R2 and stores it locally on a database with full text search indexing. Any attachments go to an attached Docker volume. From there, the webmail PWA, which is basically just a Vue 3 app, reads the local API and shows you your mail. For outbound, which is the orange arrow, you compose in the webmail client. The mail manager hands the message to Cloudflare's outbound worker, which uses Cloudflare's send mail binding to actually deliver it. The big advantage here is that Cloudflare signs the DKIM at the edge with their reputation behind it. You're not managing your DKIM keys. You don't fight block lists. Your message inherits Cloudflare's sender posture, which means you most likely won't end up in someone's spam folder. But I want to be honest with you, this is not real email in the sense that most of you would expect. A traditional mail server gives you a full IMAP server on port 993 and a full SMTP submission server on port 587. You can point Thunderbird at it, Apple Mail, your phone's native mail app, Canine Mail, or anything that speaks IMAP. There's no destination verification and you can email anyone. The downside is you're running an actual MTA. That means you're fighting block lists, you're managing DKIM keys, and you're opening ports 25 and 587 to the internet if your ISP will even allow that. DockFlare's email suite is the opposite trade-off. There's no MTA to harden. DKIM, SPF, and DMARC are handled by Cloudflare. You inherit Cloudflare's sender reputation. Mail data stays on your server, but there is no IMAP server. There is no SMTP submission server. The webmail PWA is the only client that lets you access your mailbox. And there's a second catch, and it's specifically about the free tier. Cloudflare's send email binding is gated. On the free workers plan, you can only send to the addresses you've registered as verified destinations in Cloudflare's dashboard. To verify a recipient, Cloudflare sends them a verification email asking them to click a link to authorize you to even email them. On the workers paid plan, which is $5 a month, that restriction is lifted. So if you're serious about sending outbound email, you're basically paying $5 a month. So this is not a replacement for MailCow. It's a different category of tool. It's for people who want a you@your-domain email address, who are okay using the included webmail PWA, and who are mostly replying to people who've emailed them first or corresponding with an already verified contact. Before I can deploy DockFlare, I need to create a dataset for all of its data to live in. I'm going to go to Datasets, Tank, Configs, and I'm going to click Add Dataset in the top right, and I'm going to call it DockFlare. Leave the dataset preset as generic as we need to do something fun with these permissions. Click Save. Jump over to System, and then jump into your shell. The first thing you want to do is become root by typing in sudo su. After you type in your password, go ahead and navigate over to the wiki, and in the search bar, look for DockFlare. Once you see the result, hit enter. On the right, jump over to section 1.2, which is called the shared network. You'll see in section 1.2, we have the instructions to create the network from a TrueNAS shell. Let's go ahead and copy this text and jump back to TrueNAS and paste it. Once that's done, let's go over to apps, and then I'm going to go into my Dockge web UI. I'm going to be deploying this with Dockge. If you've never used Dockge before, I have a video showing how to deploy this on TrueNAS, which is going to make your deployments way easier for Docker containers. I recommend you watch it. I'll include a link in the video description below. Let's click plus compose in the top left and give my stack a name, and I'm going to call it DockFlare. Remove all the placeholder information on the right. Jump back to the wiki and jump down to section 2, deploy DockFlare, and then just copy everything in this huge text block. Go back to Dockge and paste. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Under the network section where it says external networks, you should see the Cloudflare-net already ticked over for you, and that's exactly correct. In the .env section, we need to remove all this placeholder data and jump back to the wiki. Scroll down just a little bit more to the very bottom where it says section 2.1 env variables and copy everything here back into Dockge. Replace yourdomain.com with your actual domain. Do not use the qualifier HTTP or HTTPS. Once that's done, scroll all the way to the top and click deploy. Once that's done, you should see a whole bunch of containers running. If I click into the 5000 pill, I should see this DockFlare setup page, and that lets me know it's working, but I'm not going to actually set this up yet. I'm going to go ahead and close this window. And notice how it says exited up here for DockFlare, and that's because the DockFlare init container runs and changes the permissions for that data set. After it runs and changes the permissions, it exits, and then it throws an exited sign for the DockFlare Docker Compose stack, even though everything's actually running. Let's go ahead and pull out the DockFlare-init container because we don't need it anymore after it runs the first time. I'm going to click edit, and I'm going to find the DockFlare init container right here, and I'm going to remove everything all the way down from DockFlare init all the way down to restart. Just underneath that, for the DockFlare section, I want to scroll down just a little bit more to where it says depends on, and then DockFlare init. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this as well, and scroll all the way back to the top and click deploy. Now I should see it as active and everything should be running, and it looks fine. Now let's jump over to port 5000 by clicking the pill, and I'm going to set up a username and a password. Once that's done, click next, and now we need to set up a Cloudflare API token and a Cloudflare account ID. So let's jump over to the Cloudflare dashboard. From the dashboard, I'm going to click the ServersatHome domain, which I've blurred out for safety. On the right, I'm going to scroll down until I see the API section. Obviously, I've blurred it out for my own security, but you'll see a zone ID and an account ID in this box. Grab the account ID and jump back to DockFlare. In the second box, it's asking you for your account ID. Go ahead and paste that there. Now we need to create an API token, and we need to set it up for the proper scope. Jump back to Cloudflare. In the quick search bar on the top left, type the words API. Find the section that just says API tokens and click that. In the top right, click Create Token. We are going to create a custom token by clicking Get Started. Give it a name. In this case, I'm going to call it DockFlare. And we need to set up a bunch of permissions. Go back to the wiki and go to section 1.3, the Cloudflare account items. This is where we need to set our API token scope. If you only want to use DockFlare for the labeling aspect of it, where it automatically creates a published access route for your tunnel, you're only going to need the base DockFlare scopes. If you want to use this for email, go ahead and add the additional scopes. Adding a scope is very easy. We go back to Cloudflare where it says permissions. We're just going to want to click add more, add more, add more, and you're going to want to find the sections here. So most of these are under account. For example, the first base DockFlare scope I need is account Cloudflare tunnel edit. So I'm going to go back to my API token. I'm going to leave account, and here I'm going to type the word tunnel, and I see Cloudflare tunnel come up, and then on select, I want to say edit. So this is the first row corresponding to what it says on the wiki, and I'm just going to do that for all these things. Now, not all of them are accounts, some of them are zones, so you're going to have to click the drop down and click zone. And for example, the last one in the base DockFlare scopes is DNS, and then edit. So that's both the first and the last entry I would need for the base DockFlare scope. Go ahead and go through the wiki and add all of those things. Once you get down to zone resources, you're going to want to click the drop down where it says all zones and change that to specific zone. Then when this box comes up, you're going to want to use this drop down and select only the domain that this API key is going to apply to. Do not use client IP address filtering. It's unnecessary, and don't adjust the TTL, and then click continue to summary. I've only used these two examples here, but you're going to want to go ahead and click create token once this is done. At the very top, you'll see a little cutout box here, which I, of course, have blurred for safety reasons. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that, which is the tunnel token that I need, go back to DockFlare, and type in my API token, and then hit next. You should see assigned to this credentials verified successfully, and it's going to give you a whole bunch of stuff here that you're not going to need to touch. Go ahead and click next. It's going to give you a summarization screen here, and just click complete setup. Now we can log back in, enter your username and password, and click login. Now we're brought to the dashboard. I'm going to make this look just a little bit better. I'm going to click the little paintbrush icon, and I'm going to change this to a different theme. In this case, I'm going to go with night, and now it looks 1,000 times better. We need to do one more thing if you want to set up email, and go back to Cloudflare, and in the search in the top left, type in R2. Click R2 object storage when it comes up. Once you get here, it won't look like this. I've blurred out the screen for my own safety, but you'll probably have a button that says activate R2 storage. The reason for that is your credit card has to be on file because you get 10 gigs of free storage. Once you go over 10 gigs, you will be billed for it. However, you will never go over 10 gigs with email because the way that DockFlare works is it basically just uses the R2 bucket as a temporary buffer. As soon as your email gets there, it pulls it out of R2 immediately. So you would have to receive literally 10 gigs of email in a very short amount of time before you would start going over. After your R2 object storage is set up, you are good to go on Cloudflare. On the dashboard, we can see a bunch of different stuff. We have our dashboard here, and we could add a manual ingress rule in the event that we want to do this instead of using the Cloudflare web UI or using the labels in our Docker containers. There's access policies here if you want to go ahead and manage that, and you can pull these from Cloudflare if you want, or just do all this management from the dashboard. The idea being the fact that DockFlare can replace parts of the confusing Cloudflare dashboard for some people. Agents are in here, as well as an additional setting page in the event you need to change something with your tunnels, or maybe your backup and restores. The email tab is last, and this is where you could set up email. You can see my permissions are totally wrong here because this is just a demonstration video and I haven't overridden all the settings I've already done on my production instance. So you'll see something like this, and you can click the button that says check permissions to fix it. And once you've done that, you're going to want to click the choose domain drop down here. And once you click that, you'll click the set up email for domain. Again, I don't want to do that because I've already got email set up and it's going to totally mess up my existing system. So I'm not going to show you this. I'm going to show you the other one that I already have deployed in production. This is my production email setup, and this is what it should look like for you guys. Again, I blurred out some things here because I don't want anybody just spamming my email. But once it's already set up, you can have a domain and it should say status configured. And of course, the sending is going to be challenging because, as I said before, right now sending is very restricted for the free plan, which is the one I'm on. At the very bottom where it says mailboxes, you're going to want to add a mailbox, and this is how we get to our webmail. Once you add a mailbox, you'll see it in the address line right here, and you'll see your storage and quota. You can change your password, set a quota, set up auto response if you want, and at the very bottom, you'll see some statistics for everything that's going on. As you can see, my delivery logs are failed because I've been trying to send things to unverified users, which is how I found out there is a restriction on the free tier. Did you know I'm available for hire? If you would like a free quote, follow the Hire Me link in the video description below to book time with me one-on-one. Looking at the project health, it's been actively developed since early 2025. The 3.x line shipped multi-agent support, multi-domain isolation, and now the email suite in 3.1.0 in mid-April, with email aliasing following in 3.1.1. The commit history is dense. The maintainer is responsive on issues. I filed a bug during my own setup and got a fix turned around the same day. It's a small project, but it's actively maintained. The doc site at dockflare.app is solid, and the maintainer is engaged. That matters more than star count for a tool you're going to put into your stack. I think the original DockFlare functionality, the tunnel ingress piece, is genuinely great. If you use Cloudflare tunnels and you want labels-driven workflow, this is the cleanest way I've seen to do it. The access integration alone is worth the install. The email suite is more complicated to recommend. The architecture is clever and the project is moving fast, but it's brand new, and the rough edges are real. The free tier outbound restriction is a hard ceiling for any use case, and the no IMAP thing means you're committed to the bundled webmail. If you're a homelab tinkerer who wants to play with a clever architecture, go ahead and run it. But if you need production email today, this is not it. I'm hoping that if Cloudflare changes their outbound restriction, that can change, but as of right now, I would not run this in production for email that I care about. What email are you using for your domain right now? Are you running a full mail server? Or are you forwarding to Cloudflare routing, or maybe going with something else entirely? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this helpful, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video we release. If you want to see content YouTube won't let us show you, head over to Patreon. There's a link in the video description below. If you just want to set up Cloudflare tunnels and not mess with DockFlare at all, go ahead and check out the Cloudflare tunnels video I made. I'll put a link in the video description below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and as always, stay curious.